Health officials have told us we really need to wear masks, but many are not. They say it's too hot, it's hard to breathe, my glasses fog up. Scores of excuses for not wearing face coverings. Some New Yorkers are getting fed up with people who won't follow the rules and recommendations. Tonight, the I-Team takes a hidden camera to the places New Yorkers are complaining about the most. News 4's Chris Glorioso reports 4 months into the pandemic, mask fatigue is setting in.
On a hot July afternoon at the Tashkent supermarket in Brighton Beach, seemingly everywhere you turn, employees were maskless. Behind the bakery counter, no mask here. Behind the meat counter, this guy is handling a pile of ground meat, but he's not wearing a mask. This one pulling meat out of the case, he's not wearing one either. And this guy has one of those chin straps. Now look closely at the women behind the soup counter. This one has her fingers on her lips. And if you order a gyro, the guys making them are maskless too. We asked the store manager about flagrant face covering violations.
When people see video of employees in your store not wearing masks, what do you want people to know?
We'll fix it, I promise.
Manager Vlad Vartsy told us he thinks his employees were experiencing mask fatigue, especially during the heat wave.
90+ degrees of Fahrenheit, it's ridiculous, and it's just extremely difficult to breathe for all of us, including me.
As of last week, this supermarket was among the top 10 New York City addresses attracting complaints about face coverings. Since March, the I-Team has mapped more than 70,000 311 complaints about masks and social distancing. Along with grocery stores, we found restaurants, apartment buildings, religious schools, even police and fire stations attracting complaints. One notable finding, many of the zip codes with the highest infection rates have some of the lowest complaint rates, like hard-hit Elmhurst. Here, 22% of COVID tests are positive, but there are just over 100 social distancing and mask complaints per 20,000 people. Contrast that with Greenwich Village, where only 5% of the COVID tests are positive, but the complaint rate is more than double.
I think in some places people feel that COVID is over. Totally incorrect.
Dr. Aaron Glatt is the chief of infectious diseases at Mount Sinai South Nassau. He said the best weapon in the fight against pandemic fatigue is remembering wearing a mask and keeping your distance can save someone else's life.
When you put that mask on, smile underneath that mask and say, I'm saving somebody's life.
If you want to see face covering and social distancing complaints in your neighborhood, you can go to NBCNewYork.com. That's where we have our interactive map. You can see which zip codes have the most complaints and which ones have the highest infection rates. Chris Glorioso, News 4, New York.